Hey guys, I'm Scott with Green Door Solutions, and today I'm here with Jane. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Jane McGinnis.
And Jane and I, we recently completed a real estate transaction together.
Yes.
Now, Jane had a property that she needed to sell rather quickly, so my team and I, we were able to step in and help her solve her problem. But rather than me talk to you about it, I'd rather you hear a perspective from the seller, because that will truly give you a little bit more insight on what it's like to work with myself and our team. So Jane, from your perspective, maybe give us a little summary of the problem that you were facing.
Yes.
And maybe describe how my team and I, we were able to step in and provide assistance and ultimately help you solve your problem.
Yes, absolutely. My husband and I bought our very first home in Wrightwood, California, down in Southern California, years ago. And we had lived there for about 8 years, loved it, beautiful place. And my job transferred up to the Sacramento area. And that was in 1992. We both came up here and have lived here ever since. Normally we would have sold the house, but we had a friend in Wrightwood who was getting older and really needed housing. And we didn't need to sell the house right away. And the market was not all that great at the time. So we let Hazel move in, and she lived there for 28 years.
Oh, wow.
28 years. And it was one of these things where you just thank God that you're able to do this good thing for someone who needs it. She was a lovely woman. She'd been a cook in a restaurant all her life, so she was not hugely rich on Social Security, didn't have a lot. And so that housing became very important to her. And so it became important to me. And all of a sudden, for the first time in 28 years, the rent didn't show up. Well, that rent was actually kind of important to me. That was sort of the grocery money. And with a little investigation, it turned out that she had become very ill and was taken to the hospital and actually died. Surprised all of us. No one expected that. And it left me in a real tough position because I had been hale and hearty when we moved up here, but I retired 3 or 4 years ago, and I'm now a widow. I'm now 78, and a year and a half ago I fell and had a real bad injury to my spine that took about a year to get over. I wasn't walking for a while. And as soon as I got over that, of course, I got all cocky and figured I could do anything and threw a ball to the next door neighbor's dog standing on wet pine needles and fell down a slope and broke my shoulder in 3 places.
Wow.
It's the only time I've ever fallen in my life, 2 in a row.
Wow.
So here I am, not in really good physical condition, and I've got the insurance policies, the costs of maintaining the property, and the cost of the insurance policies was pretty high because now I'm on Social Security. The situation was, oh my gosh, am I going to pay for another year of all of this insurance and try to find a renter from up here 500 miles away? And I'm not sure what to do. And it was kind of a panicky time. So I went to a friend that I trust greatly. He does a lot of the investment of what little I have and is very good at it. So he has made it possible for me to live. And he said, hey, I have a friend. And he got on the phone and he called you. And I heard about flipping and buying and how it works for the first time. And it was sort of, okay, that's different. I've seen television shows about that, but I'm okay. But it felt very, after I spoke to you and Melina on the phone, there was something that just felt very good about this. And so we went ahead and we did some paperwork back and forth. Well, it turned out that Green Door Solutions ended up buying the house for cash without my having to supervise repairs or reconstruction or any of the things that the state would have asked me to do, or that the Board of Realtors would have insisted I do. And that was just a blessing from the Lord, because how am I supposed to supervise unknown workmen from 500 miles away when I can't afford to pay for the materials that they're going to use to do the work that needs to be done for me to offer the property for sale? And it was just one of those descending spiral kind of things. It was like, panic, I don't know what to do. And you guys were so amazing, because you not only explained exactly what you were doing and why it was to your benefit to do it, so I could see the advantage you were getting. That was lovely. And I could see the advantage I was getting just to hand it over and just, here, take this problem from me. It was a godsend. You were a godsend. And it worked out exactly as you had said it would, exactly as all the written material said. You did everything you said you were going to do. And the next thing I know, without my really having to do anything except say thank you, I get a closing statement, and the next thing I know, I get a check in my bank account, and I was able to, and this is what's really wonderful about it, when I retired, I had managed to save enough that Ben, the financial advisor, has me covered for enough. I mean, I have to be careful with money, but enough to get through month by month by month until I'm 90.
Wow.
So if I live past 90, I'm in big trouble, right? And that money that I received for that house, I was able to give to Ben, and he was able to set it up so that if I live past 90, I'll be fine. I can live to 100 and be fine. And I know I'm not going to, but it is such a relief to think, oh my gosh, I don't have to do anything with this. I can just enjoy my life, work for my church, do the things that I need to do, and the problem has been solved, and I am so grateful. You guys are just dead honest, absolutely did everything you said you were going to do, and I'm thrilled because you truly were the answer to a prayer. So I thank you. I thank him.
Why did you choose to work with us?
Twofold. The first one, quite honestly, was because someone that I trusted deeply said, I grew up with this guy and he's absolutely trustworthy, and I want to call him and see if he can help you. And before I knew it, he picked up the phone and called you. And the second one was, after we had talked, I understood what he was saying, and I felt the same feeling. I didn't know you, but I felt very, very good about having been led to a good place. This is going to sound silly. My favorite part about working with Scotty was the fact that he was there for everything. By that I meant, I knew that you were in there ripping out termite damage and putting in work and scouting around trying to find building supplies when they were very hard to find. But at the same time, I got in the mail, if you remember this, I got a notice from the county about fire hazards, and the weeds in the lawn were 4 inches high or something, because Hazel had died. And instead of having to call around and find a handyman, I just called you and said, what should I do? And you said, don't worry about it, I'll have someone come up there and whack it all down. And you did. And it was one of those things where you just go, okay, that's solved. And, after a while, I got used to kind of, as I was working with you, I got used to saying, that's solved. That is a nice thing. I think the thing that was most surprising is how reliable and straightforward and helpful you were, and how everybody was in this process, because I probably wouldn't have gone through the process if I hadn't felt at 6s and 7s about getting it done myself. And it was almost like everybody just gathered around and helped me through it. It was an effortless process, and I am so grateful. It's like the house is sold, and I didn't mess it up. I didn't take a loss. I didn't make a big mistake. I just handed it over to you, and it's done, and I'm grateful. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Jane. All right, well, that's pretty much it. I hope that was valuable for you guys. At least gives you maybe a little insight on what it's like working with myself and my team here at Green Door Solutions. So thank you guys, and I hope you guys have a blessed day.